Welcome to More Organised, Less Clutter, a podcast to empower individuals and neurodivergent families with practical, realistic tools to create a more organised, sensory-friendly, clutter-free and intentional home that works with your lifestyle and brain, not against it. I'm Narelle King, a professional organiser and neurodivergent mum who understands the unique challenges of family life. I help people just like you simplify your space, build sustainable organisational systems and create more breathing room physically and mentally. Every fortnight, you'll hear solo episodes and guest conversations filled with practical strategies on decluttering, home organisation, routines for neurodivergent families, mindful living, and how to build a home that feels safe, calm and functional. You'll walk away with actionable takeaways you can implement even if you only have 10 minutes to spare. Today on the podcast, I have invited some professional organisers from here in Australia. They are all members of the Institute of Professional Organisers, the IOPO, which is a body that provides support and also a network in the organising industry. And I've been part of this organisation for the last 4 years. It's such a great network of people that we can bounce ideas off and we've got support. And it also just helps with growth. There's lots of resources, professional development and connections and catch-ups that we have within each state, as well as coming together for the conference like last year. I have 3 of professional organisers from the IOPO that are going to share tips to help you feel more organised this Christmas. By being prepared and decluttering early, you can really reduce overwhelm and also just bring more calm and joy to your holiday season. So we have Julie Whiting from the Decluttering Co., which I have had on the podcast previously, and she's going to be sharing tips on creating space in your calendar in December and why decluttering before Christmas is really beneficial. And this is from a professional organiser's point of view as well, which is really important to hear. I then have Arwen Dropmann from Calm Space Professional Organising, and she shares how to create a master Christmas checklist. And also she does say starting in October, but it's not too late to start in November with decluttering. And then I have Donna Wallace from the Lifestyle Managers. Again, she's also been on the podcast previously, and she shares ideas around shopping early, gifting experiences, and also some great ideas around wrapping gifts sustainably. I also am going to share some ideas around packing room by room at the end of Christmas, not category, just to help you save some time and also protect your pieces. I'm going to share some ideas that are environmentally friendly. Let's jump into this More Organised, Less Clutter podcast.
I'm Julie Whiting from the Decluttering Co. in Melbourne, and I help overwhelmed, cluttered individuals and families simplify and get organised. I've got a pre-Christmas, pre-holiday tip for listeners. It has 2 components. Number 1 is you don't have to say yes to every invitation or catch up with everyone you know before Christmas. It's fine to put some engagements on the back burner to save your sanity. Your friends will still be there after December 25th. And with the time and energy you save from doing that comes number 2, and that is to declutter your home before Christmas, not after. That means you'll have scope in your home to accommodate incoming gifts if that's what happens in your life. And as an aside, research in Australia shows that about 1/4 to 1/3 of people receive gifts they will never use, with estimates placing the wasted value at over $900 million annually. So it's better still if you ditch gift-giving traditions altogether. But I know this is a big ask, especially if you have kids or someone in your life has gift-giving as their love language. But grandparents, listen up, the kids already have a lot of toys. Besides creating cupboard and floor space, decluttering before Christmas means your surplus items will be likely snapped up by op shops. Because some people actually shop in op shops for Christmas gifts and socialising clothes, and they will be doing that in the lead up to Christmas. After Christmas, lots of people declutter during their holidays. Op shops may be closed during this time, and even if they're open, many are overstocked and understaffed and reject donations. They simply don't have the space for it. Like we professional organisers say, space is a finite resource, even for op shops. I see this happen every year. So if you want to keep your decluttered goods out of landfill and into the right hands, get them into op shops as soon as possible. I mean, who wants to spend their holidays decluttering anyway? You could spend your holidays catching up with the people you deferred during the silly season. So roll up your sleeves and start decluttering now, just thinning out all your cupboards and shelves. Anything you haven't used in a year could be a candidate to end up in someone else's Christmas stocking.
Hello, I'm Arwen from Calm Space Professional Organising in Brisbane, Australia. I help people who are overwhelmed or find it hard to let go of their possessions, declutter and organise their spaces. Today I want to share 2 ideas that work nicely together for an organised Christmas. The first is my rule of thumb that an organised Christmas starts in October, and the second is to gather all your Christmas preparation tasks into a master Christmas checklist. Now I know you may be listening to this podcast in November, but stick with me because you can still implement some of these concepts this year and in the years to come. Let me explain how these 2 ideas connect. When you start in October, you're giving yourself enough time to work through your checklist in a steady, manageable way instead of a last-minute scramble. And your Christmas checklist is one comprehensive list of everything that needs to happen each Christmas. Buying presents, menu planning, delegating responsibilities, and putting up decorations. But the real beauty of this strategy is that you save this list and bring it out every year. Each time you use it, you get a chance to refine and improve it for next time. So why do checklists work so well for Christmas planning? 3 reasons. First, they're perfect for recurring tasks that follow the same steps each time. Christmas happens every year, and while small details may change, the structure stays pretty consistent for most people. Second, they prevent decision fatigue. When you're juggling end-of-year work commitments, school events and travel plans, especially here in Australia where Christmas coincides with all of those other events, the last thing you need is to reinvent the wheel every year. Your tasks and priorities are already set in advance. And third, checklists ease the load on your memory and reduce those frustrating oversights, like the sinking feeling when you realise you forgot to buy a gift or didn't plan for someone's dietary requirements at Christmas lunch, meaning last-minute trips to the very busy shopping centre. A good checklist can eliminate that stress. Starting in October might seem early, but allowing enough time to work through your checklist in steady, manageable steps means you can actually enjoy the season. Create your checklist once and it can be a holiday gift to yourself in the future. Thanks for listening. I'm Arwen from Calm Space Professional Organising in Brisbane, Australia. And I want to finish up by encouraging you to find one thing you can do this week to give yourself the gift of an organised Christmas.
Thanks, Narelle, for having me back. Hi everyone, I'm Donna Wallace, Director of the Lifestyle Managers, based in the beautiful Macedon Ranges in Victoria. At the Lifestyle Managers, my team and I help clients across Melbourne, regional Victoria and even interstate to declutter, downsize and simplify their homes and lives. We work with busy families, older adults preparing to move and anyone who needs a bit of support to get life organised again. We take care of the things on their to-do list that they don't have time to do, don't want to make time to do or cannot physically do for themselves. I'm so happy to be sharing some tips with you today. I love the holiday season. It's such a happy time, but it can also be a stressful time with end-of-year events, school concerts, work parties, shopping and family gatherings. It can start to feel a little overwhelming. So today I'm sharing some of my favourite organising tips to help you create some calm and enjoy the season a little bit more. My first tip is to take some pressure off by shopping early for both gifts or food. A little planning in October or November can make a huge difference to your budget and stress levels in December. Start by writing a list of people you need to buy for and a few gift ideas beside each name. That way, when you're out and about or shopping online, you can pick things up as you go rather than facing things in one big expensive rush. The same goes for your pantry. Stocking up gradually, particularly for long life items like napkins and drinks, can help spread the cost over several weeks and means you're not hit with a huge grocery bill just before Christmas. Shopping early helps you be more intentional with what you buy. It gives you time to find thoughtful gifts and saves those frantic last-minute dashes to the shops when everything's sold out and traffic is getting heavy. It's a small change that can make December feel a whole lot lighter, financially and emotionally. My next tip is when you're looking at gifts, focus on experiences rather than stuff. Instead of adding more items to already full homes, I love giving the gift of time, memories, or something practical that makes life easier. This could be as simple as a voucher for a local restaurant, zoo tickets, concert tickets, a massage, or a home movie night kit with snacks. For older family members, it might be a gardening workshop or a flower subscription, or even a few hours of help around the home. The beauty of giving experiences is that they can create memories, not clutter. They take the pressure off finding space for new things and focus on what really matters: connection, thoughtfulness, and time together. If the people in your life still prefer to give a physical gift, then another tip I love this time of year is what I call donate and make space. I think this will be a common theme from myself and the other POs on the podcast today. Before the gifts, food and decorations start piling in, take a short moment to make physical and emotional space for the season. That might mean doing a quick pantry tidy before the big Christmas shop, helping the kids choose a few toys to donate, or clearing off the kitchen bench so it feels calm and ready for the festivities. When we make space, we invite in happiness, connection, and the feeling that our homes are ready to celebrate with us. Even just 15 minutes here and there in December can make such a difference. One of the changes I've made as I try to be more environmentally friendly is to purchase beautiful Christmas fabrics and ribbons from Spotlight All in Craft. I cut the fabric into different sized squares or rectangles and use the fabric to wrap presents. It looks gorgeous and they're completely reusable. They also fold neatly back into my wrapping box ready for next year. It's simple, sustainable, and reduces so much waste. Plus it adds that handmade, thoughtful touch that really captures the heart of Christmas. And my recycling bin doesn't fill up with Christmas paper. So a little tip, the fabrics usually go on sale in the new year. So if you miss this Christmas, it's a good chance to stock up for next year. I hope you enjoyed listening to my tips. Whether you're shopping early, giving experiences, making space in your home, or wrapping gifts sustainably, remember, a little preparation can reduce a lot of overwhelm. I'm Donna Wallace from The Lifestyle Managers, and you can find me online at thelifestylemanagers.com.au or through the IOPO Find an Organiser directory. I wish you all a beautifully organised Christmas and holiday season. Thanks for listening.
I am focusing on eco-friendly Christmas decoration storage hacks. So one of my biggest tips is to pack up at the end of Christmas, room by room. Unless you only have one room that you decorate, it's better than putting all of the items, the categories together. This is going to save you time, but it's also going to protect any delicate pieces. So, for example, it might be your lounge decor kit. It might be that you decorate your kitchen area. And so you bring all of those things together. Another thing that I recommend is that you have some sort of inventory, maybe even a map of where you maybe like to put the items out in the room, and having a list of what's included in the lid is going to help. So just looking for a sturdy box. It doesn't have to be plastic. It could be any box, a delivery box, a carton, but definitely having a lid is going to protect it from dust. Now, it depends where you're storing it. If you're storing it somewhere where it's quite damp, you may then want to consider a plastic box or a container that is more secure and is not going to allow any dampness and water to get into that box. Some eco-friendly Christmas decoration storage hacks that I want to share with you is my first one is dividers. If you cut cardboard into strips and you actually put a slot in them to form a grid that fits in your box, this is great for putting your baubles in and then they're not touching, especially if they're quite fine and depending on the material that they've made from. Another great one is egg cartons, and that's for like your little small ornaments. I've also seen a client use the cartons that come in with fruit and they've got the small cells made out of cardboard. The next thing is wrapping your delicate items. Instead of purchasing plastic bubble wrap, think about using fabric offcuts. Maybe it's your tea towels that need replacing. Maybe it's your old pajamas, or it could be some t-shirts, and you could use that fabric and cut it up to use to wrap around your baubles. Also for like a garland, you could be able to put that into a paper bag or even into a paper towel tube. And what I've done is put some fabric over the end with a rubber band just to keep the ends so it can't fall out. Then when it comes to your lights, we don't want them tangled. If you cut a rectangle of cardboard and you just put a notch on the two opposite sides, you can then wrap your lights in a figure 8 and tuck the plug into the notch as well. And then make sure that you label it. So it's got like maybe the length, if they're the indoor lights or outdoor lights, and even colour, because they might be white or they may be coloured. Like I said earlier, depending where you're storing it, think about putting those silica gels inside, or maybe it's cedar blocks or cinnamon sticks to deter natural pests. And if you're going to be storing it on a floor, maybe thinking about a shelf or a pallet so that it's away from the dampness that might be rising. Next item would be a Christmas tree. So if it's an artificial Christmas tree, you might want to compress it and wrap it into an old doona cover or maybe an old sheet, and then secure it with some string around the ends of it, and make sure that you label the sections so it's so much easier to assemble when it comes to getting it out next Christmas. When it comes to storing your wreath, think about a coat hanger and using that to sit it around, and then slipping it into an old pillowcase so that it's protected from the dust, or even one of those clear bags that pillows or linen come in. Even now, most of the linen bags that you can get with your sheet sets are made out of cotton. They make great storage for all of these decorations. So why pack up room by room rather than category? It's definitely faster the next year when it goes to decorating. You open that one box for that room and then you just follow the map and the instructions that you've got in there. It also means that there's less plastic. All the packaging you're using is cardboard, textiles, and it's reusing things within your home. This means that it's also going to be better protected by having, say, the grid dividers or using the fabric. It means that things are not going to get scratched. You're not going to be replacing your decorations as often because they're being protected. If you've labelled things and you've included instructions, it means that other people can also help in setting up Christmas in future years to come. I really appreciate the time from the other professional organisers and them sharing knowledge around organising tips for Christmas. And I hope this really helps you to have a more organised, calmer, less overwhelmed Christmas. And I wish you all the joy and happiness over the festive season. Thanks for listening to More Organised, Less Clutter. Would you like to have a home for everything and easily be able to find the things you need during the festive season? To help you have the best Christmas season, I've created an extra special free resource for you, the Christmas Declutter Calendar. Quick and simple ideas designed to give you immediate results in just 15 minutes each day. Feel more organised this Christmas and download your Christmas Declutter Calendar from simplyhappy.com.au in the resource section. I'd like to acknowledge the Wathaurong people of the Kulin Nation on which this podcast is recorded as the traditional custodians of the land. I pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging.